Welcome to DBM's Tutorial Academy. Today, our lesson is all about multiplication and division of rational numbers. So, let's give it a go. Alright, so let's start with 2/3 times 1/4 equals. Alright, but first we are going to define first the meaning of rational numbers. A rational number can be written in a form of P over Q, where P is called numerator, okay, and Q is called denominator. In short, when we are talking about rational number, we are referring to fractions. Alright? Is it clear? Okay. So let's focus on our problem. We got 2/3 times 1/4. That is our given. Now, we are going to identify first the numerator. Okay. And then, we are going to identify also the denominator. Alright. Okay. The first thing that you are going to do is you are going to multiply both numerator and you are going to multiply also both denominators, and you are just going to put it across the equal sign. Okay, so 2 times 1 will give you 2, 3 times 4 will give you 12. Very good. Okay, now but 2 over 12 is not yet in the lowest term. Your teacher is always looking for an answer which is in the lowest term or in the simplified form. Okay, so all you need to do is to get the GCF, the greatest common factor. And in this case, 2 and 12, the greatest common factor is 2. There you go. Okay, then you are going to divide both sides. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 will give you, of course, 1. Very good. Okay, and 12 divided by 2 will give you 6. 1 over 6 is the answer that your teacher is looking for. All right? So, any answer that is not yet in the lowest term is not being accepted by your teacher. Your teacher is always looking for this lowest term. Okay? So, it's very important that you know how to get the lowest term. All right? Is it clear? Okay, now let's have another example. We got 3/4 times 1/2. Okay, now again, you're going to identify the numerator and the denominator, and you're just going to multiply them. 3 times 1 will give you 3. 4 times 2 will give you 8. And in this case, 3 and 8, they're already in the lowest term because they don't have GCF anymore. So it means that 3 over 8 is our final answer. That is already in the lowest term. You get it? Okay, let's have another example. Okay, let's have 1 over 8 times 2 over 6. Okay, so again, the numerator, you multiply it by the numerator. So 1 times 2 will give you 2, 8 times 6 will give you 48. And again, 2 and 48, they are not yet in the lowest term because they still have its GCF, the greatest common factor, which is, very good, 2. Alright, so 2 divided by 2 will give you 1. And 48 divided by 2, you're going to get 24. So 1 over 24 is the final answer in this question. 1 over 8 times 2 over 6. Do you get it? Are you following? Okay. So let's move to the other topic. This is multiplication. So let's go to division. Actually, when you are talking about division, you are just going back to the process of multiplication of rational number. Okay, I'll let you see that. Okay, so let's have 1/2 divided by 1/2. Okay, so as you can see, we have two numbers, and we are going to focus ourselves on the second number because we are going to get the reciprocal. All right. When you are saying about reciprocal, okay, so first we're going to identify which is among these two is the divisor. Okay, of course, the divisor is the second number. Yeah, that's all right. Then we are going to reciprocalize it. We are going to reciprocal that. Okay, so what are you going to do? You are just going to put the denominator to the numerator, and the numerator you are going to put in the place of denominator. They are just changing its place. The one is above going down, and the one down is going above. All right, and then the first number, okay, you're just going to copy it. There you go. Just copy. All right, and then the operation sign, which is division, you're just going to change it to multiplication. See, as I've told you, we're just going back to multiplication. And then apply the rule of multiplication. Okay, you multiply the numerator and you multiply the denominator. And you're just going to put the product across the equal sign. Okay, so let's have 1 times 2. Okay, of course. And we got 2 times 1. Okay, so we have 2, and 2 times 1 will give you 2 also. All right, so 2 divided by 2 will give you an answer of 1. You get it? Okay, so when we are dealing of division, we are just going back to multiplication. All right, are you following? Okay, now let's have another example to make it clear. We got 2/3, okay, divided by 1/4. Okay, so 1/4 is our divisor, so we are going to reciprocalize that. Okay, so 4 over 1, and the operation, you're just going to change it into multiplication and just copy the first number, which is 2/3. Okay, and then apply the rule of multiplication. 2 times 4 will give you 8. Okay, and 3 times 1 will give you 3. All right, so 8 over 3, and because 8 over 3 is relatively prime to each other, they are already in the lowest term. All right. So our next example is are the numbers that makes the students confused most of the time. Okay. So let's have 2/3 divided by 2. Sir, our lesson is all about rational numbers. 2/3 is a fraction. 2 is a whole number. What happened? Okay. Yes. 2 is a whole number. But you should always remember that any whole number has an imaginary denominator of 1. Very good. So now we have two fractions already. We got 2/3 divided by 2 over 1. And 2 over 1 is our divisor. So we are just going to reciprocalize it. Okay? We're just going to put the numerator down to the denominator part, and the denominator, which is 1, you are just going to put above, become the new numerator. Okay, so again, let's rewrite it. It will become 1/2, and let's change that. It will become multiplication, and that 2/3 you're just going to copy, as simple as that. All right, and then the numerator, you're just going to multiply that to the numerator. Okay, you're just going to apply the rule, okay, in multiplication. So 2 times 1 will give you 2, and 3 times 2 will give you 6. And 2 over 6 is not yet in the lowest term because they still have GCF. And their GCF is 2, isn't it? Right. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 is, what is the answer? Very good, 1. So 6 divided by 2 is, nice one, 3. So you're working well, okay? You're following well. All right, so let's have another example, okay, to make it clearer. Okay, so 1/4 divided by 4. Again, 4 is a whole number. So let's make it a fraction. Okay, let's make 4 a fraction. So let's put 1 on the denominator. And then 4 over 1, okay, let's rewrite it because we are going to reciprocalize it. Okay, 4 over 1, okay, will become, okay, will become 1/4. Okay, so let's just encircle it. Okay, it will become 1/4. And then that operation will become multiplication, and just copy the first number, which is 1/4 also. And then apply the rule of multiplication. 1 times 1 will give you, very good, of course, 1. Okay. Okay, let's just write it here. Okay, so 4 times 4 is 16. There you go. So 1 over 16 is our final answer. Okay? Hope you learned something from me today. Okay? If you have some topics that you want me to discuss too, just comment down below here and I'm going to make a video. It will be my pleasure to give my service to you. Bye bye. Okay.